Why is starting at the hardest part?
Now you sound like Chris Hardwick.
Why is starting at the hardest part?
It is. Starting it is.
Starting
That's
is-
with anything, though. It's just life. Even getting around to watching movies. I kind of wish that this was the introduction, because then we could be done with it.
Oh, God. Hey, everybody. This is Ben with the Target Audience Podcast. I'm joined with my esteemed co-host, TJ, also known as Thomas.
Yep, I'm TJ, also known as Thomas, with the Target Audience Podcast, and I am joined with my esteemed co-host, Ben.
Oh, Ben. Thanks. I'm glad you remembered my name that time. So, I'm sure most of you are friends and family, so you already know us both quite well. But for the rogue person I managed to trick into listening to this, why don't we start with introducing ourselves as more of a person, and kind of talk about what kind of we like to talk about in movies, because that's what this podcast ultimately is about. It's about talking about movies.
Everything under the sun about movies.
Yeah, we're talking about directors, talking old movies, new movies, all sorts of stuff. I'm gonna put the ball in your court, put you on the spot first, since you're the one listening to this, TJ.
All right, but
what kind of movies do you like? What's you?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, movies have always been an integral part, I'd say, of both our lives. Obviously, I think I grew up, with getting into movies. Horror. Mm-hmm. That was always, the family thing. We were always, we were kids, you go to Blockbuster and all that shit, and, we'd get to pick a movie. Adults would get to pick a movie. And all the time between my brothers, it was always fucking The Evil Deads, Nightmare on Elm Street. That's what got me, I think, into watching movies. But then later on, I'd get older and I'd want to watch whatever my parents would rent and stuff. I've always been into movies, basically, since I was a kid, really. Yeah. Same thing with you, though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how we first became friends, was talking about the movies, because you've seen the ones that...
Yeah, 7th grade, it was just hey, where's our overlap here? Because, growing up, I grew up out in the middle of nowhere, out in the country. And I didn't have, friends to go, play with and stuff. Fuck you, Dover's country.
Dover's not
Motherfucker, I had a farm on each side of my house. That's country enough.
But it's still, 10 minutes away from, everybody else.
Fuck you, I'm sticking to it. I'm country. Okay. But I grew up where there wasn't, accessible kids I could ride my bike to. Which is close enough.
I feel you.
Yeah, and so basically I had to go through, my dad had a very large DVD collection and VHS before then. And I just kind of I ran out of kid shit to watch. I was okay, well, I guess this Jay and Silent Bob movie seems pretty cool. What's that all about?
Oh yeah, that was actually probably what our friendship was founded on.
Yeah, it was 7th grade. I was hey, I saw this Jay and Silent Bob movie is pretty cool. And you're yeah. Where the fuck have you been?
motherfuck.
Yeah, that was the defining movie of
definitely.
our
I agree.
13 to 16 year range was just the View Askew-averse.
Most definitely. Yeah. And that's the thing, though. What I was saying, though, is I'm at a point, and even my dad and just the house I grew up in, it was always there wasn't much limitations on what we could and couldn't watch. Obviously, when I was a kid, there was the shit that was as long as it wasn't anything strong sexual content or anything super insanely ridiculous, it was always it's a movie, right? Okay, so there wasn't any restrictions. So it's I'll watch almost anything once. Yeah. Kind of thing. And you've always been that way, too.
I got bored. I was watching weird shit, Steel Magnolias and things like that.
That's what I mean. It's we could watch, the crazy, borderline, hard-to-find grindhouse shit, but we'll also watch, Perks of Being a Wallflower or something.
I fucking love it.
People, look at us and be you've seen that? Yeah. Kind of thing. It's I will literally watch
anything.
Almost anything once. There's a couple... I'm sure we both got on our list of fuck you, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun of what this podcast is going to be about.
Yeah, but there's a couple that's still probably going to be fuck you, I really don't want to watch this.
Yeah, but that's, going to be the punishment.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Compromising values. Yeah. It's really what this is all about.
So, kind of moving on a little bit. So, what would you say, since we're kind of trusting people to take us at our word that we like movies, what are some of your favorites? Let's just run down some easy genres. What's your favorite horror movie?
Yeah,
horror is
it's
that's
hard to
our
say,
jam.
It's hard to say, that's why, when you get to meet somebody, what's your favorite movie?
Yeah.
My name's CJ, this, that. To me, what's always best is I like to categorize it more in just, there's always, everybody's going to have their own personal list of movies they feel you should see before you die. Yeah. And that's how you do it. You know what I mean? It's hard. And what were you saying, though? What's my favorite what?
Let's say horror. What's your favorite horror movie?
Top favorite horrors?
Yeah, just one that,
one
if
that
it's
sticks
on,
with me to this day.
You're in there.
The Thing.
The Thing.
I know that's a mutual one.
That's a mutual one.
Probably.
Evil
Dead.
I was going Evil Dead or Alien.
Yeah.
Like, I think like those are like ones that like
Alien's
it's hard to argue.
easily a favorite of mine, especially the first Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the others aren't horror movies, is what it
No, I agree.
boils down to.
I'm not even gonna
That's
disagree with you 100% on that.
fucking week.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah, but like, you know, like there's we each have our like our top picks.
Oh yeah, no.
You know?
For me, in terms of horror, I don't know, it changes. Sometimes I don't mind like the pure fun gore fest, like, you know, Evil Dead, stuff like that.
And like we can even have fun
But then
with
I'm
like
trying to-
The Collector.
But then I do appreciate a good one that like shakes you to a core, almost like the first time you watch like the original like Texas Chainsaw Massacre, like what it did, like dude, there was like it's some shit, man.
I think that's one that you're definitely influenced by your childhood for that, because that's one you saw when you were pretty young, right?
Not as young as like when I saw like Evil Dead,
But you weren't
and
like
Nightmare on Elm
18,
Street.
like you weren't.
No,
yeah,
I was definitely like still like teenager.
Yeah. So like, and that's one that I didn't see until I was like older, and it didn't impact me as much. But like, also like the horror movies that really fucked with me, like I saw Cat's Eye as a kid.
Cat's Eye,
and I was
dude,
I was terrified of having my soul sucked out through my mouth when I was asleep.
No, I love that one.
But it like objectively, you know, it's held to a different standard.
No, I agree.
But
but I think that's what's awesome about. I think that's what's always drawn me. You could say it about movies in general, but like horror especially. The great thing about horror is what scares me doesn't necessarily scare you.
It's all contextual.
Like some people, it's the supernatural, like demonic possessions, haunted, spooky shit, even the gore.
Because you can't punch a ghost.
That's what freaks people out. But then there's the movies like where I think that the more anxiety, the atmosphere,
like a witch,
like The Witch or Suspiria or shit like that can be more scary. Even more realistic stuff like you've seen like Devil's Rejects versus.
Of course.
Let's just compare the two Rob Zombie, like House of a Thousand Corpses. That's just crazy, full blown psycho exploitation border tribute film.
It's crazy.
Versus Devil's Rejects, where that's the shit you hear about on the news.
That's more grounded
every day, and that's movies like I've talked to people where that movie shakes them more. But yeah, no stuff like that, man. I appreciate if you can convey what you're trying to get. Movies have always been an escape, and it's a glimpse into
other worlds,
other people's minds. I think that's what draws people to it.
Yeah. So keep on this ball rolling while we're ahead. So, like, I guess we should probably talk about what the, like, function of this podcast is. Because, like, it's obvious that we're going to be talking about movies and stuff, but, like, there's got to be, like, some guidelines, something to keep this together. So, what we're doing is, every single week, until we die, we're going to watch 5 movies.
Till we die or this podcast dies?
No, podcast will never die.
What if you have kids?
Fuck them. Yeah. I got lots of time.
Does that mean we're gonna end up?
I'm not having kids. Fuck you.
But like until we die, like I'm just saying, like what if you move on and you have a family?
If I move on to the other life.
I mean, we know I'll be your couch guy, so I'll be able to watch movies, no problem. But I don't know if people are gonna want to listen to us like doing. Ooh, we can't have a Shrek. Actually, you know what? We can have a Shrek week.
Yeah, let's do Shrek week.
Okay.
All right.
Kids movies.
We keep referencing a week throughout this podcast.
Oh, yes, true.
So the deal is, we're going to do 5 movies a week. Now, there's going to be 2 flavors to this. There's going to be one where we do a theme week. So, like, let's say we've got the films coming out soon, the Mission Impossible movies.
Yeah.
There's enough that we can fill, I'm pretty sure, 5 days worth of movies.
Have you seen, how many Mission Impossible movies have you seen?
None
None at all?
None.
I've seen at least the first 2, and then I think I skipped the third one and somehow saw the fourth one. Never in like a simultaneous order, though. Yeah.
So, but like, for example, we can do that theme week where we watch all the movies of a franchise, and that's our week where we talk about that just like, because it really gives you like a stark comparison of like start to finish.
We watched all the Mission Impossible, so you don't have to.
Exactly. Or the Fast and the Furious, or whatever.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. But, like, for the theme weeks, we're going to try to, like, capstone it with, like, a recent release in that franchise. Or at least at start.
5 movies a week.
Get us up to speed.
Yeah, 5 movies a week. One is always going to be pertaining to a new release.
Every single time. We're always getting a new movie in
Even
there.
if you feel like nothing is out in theaters, there's always going to be something there. We'll at least see a new release.
We'll be one of 9 people who saw Lady Bird. You know, we'll be filling those seats. Yeah. But other than that, we're going to be going back and forth where We're each going to choose one off of our list of movies that we've been meaning to watch for a long time, and just so we can experience it. And then we're going to have one where I'm forcing TJ to watch a movie, and he's forcing me to watch a movie.
Whether it be one that you've seen or haven't seen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's basically the one that you have to watch that you're telling me. It's your
where
recommendation.
I've been telling TJ, hey, you need to watch Moon for like
Oh yeah,
2 years now.
That is actually on the
And
list. Yeah, definitely, and that's good. This is actually kind of what started the idea of doing the podcast. Was it's a reason for us to not procrastinate watching the things on our ever-growing queue line.
Whittle that shit down, because there's so many movies that we've been meaning to watch for so many years that we just have never gotten around to.
And there's so many movies that we do watch and we just talk about them anyway. So it's like, why not just hit record?
Yeah. So like the general premise is that we're gonna end up taking this and we're gonna really just kind of go through movies that passed us by, new stuff
Things
coming out that looks
cool.
interesting.
Hopefully, stuff that you'll think sounds cool.
There's gonna be some duds, but the thing is, this also keeps us honest, and we're gonna be trying to watch 5 movies a week. However, we both realize we can't always watch 5 movies a week. There's gonna be some movie where you draw the line, you're like, fuck, I just wasn't feeling it. I tried watching it on Wednesday. I tried watching it on Thursday. It just wasn't working. Friday, we went and saw whatever movie was in theater. And if you pass up a movie, you get punishment.
Dun, dun, dun.
And the punishment is...
subject to change. I mean, it depends what... punishments could be different.
It can change.
But
I think the most...
The punish... the person being punished...
Yes.
For lack of a better term.
The punishee.
I don't want to say punishee.
The sub. And I'll be the dom.
Yeah, okay, well... alright, yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
So basically, though, but like... the Punisher chooses the punishment, correct?
Yes.
The form of punishment, too?
The form of punishment.
Oh, within somewhat reason.
Within reason.
Because you're punishing somebody
like,
for not watching a movie.
I'm not going to, like... kick you in the balls, but I am going to make you watch Shrek 2 with like Spanish audio.
There you go.
And you got to talk about that next week.
Ooh.
Give me your takeaway.
Ooh. Keep talking dirty to me.
Mm-hmm.
That actually sounds fun. Maybe I do like pain.
Yeah, but the general gist is that it's more of just like have some fun with it.
Definitely.
You know, it keeps us because you don't want punishment.
Well,
obviously.
I just don't want to like come in and be like, "Hey Ben, I didn't watch that movie," and then you got like
I got
4 shots
up.
of tequila lined up.
No, I wouldn't do
Okay.
that to you. But now you're giving me ideas. So, as we mentioned, we are going to be watching new movies that come out on a weekly basis, and we're just going to establish this now. If the movie is over 2 years old, you had your chance. I'm sorry. If you want to, skip ahead, but we're going to talk about the movie in its entirety from start to finish.
Yes.
Like, you know,
That's fair. It's like you've had 2 years, man.
It's like, if we decide we want to watch Captain America, the First Avenger, surprise, motherfucker, he crashes a plane into the ice and gets frozen.
Yeah,
like, we all know this.
It's the same way, like I said, I brought
you had
up
your
how
chance.
somebody technically... I was watching something and it spoiled The Blob. And for a split second, my brain was like, oh man, because like in my head, I really wanted to watch The Blob that week. But then I was like, to be fair, the movie came out like forever ago. Like you're talking, I think the original Blob was, you're going to have to look
it was like
up.
1956, I think.
It's around the 50s.
Yeah.
Did you look it up?
No, I was just guessing.
Okay,
You said it really confident earlier,
it was the
earlier
50s.
and it stuck with me.
Yeah.
But,
It was the 50s, I think.
yeah. So it's like, you know, we're...
Yeah. Within reason.
We'll be mindful.
Yeah.
For the new releases, we plan on doing it this way, where we're going to give you a time code so that, like, hey, we started talking about Avengers Infinity War. We're not going to talk about Avengers Infinity War. But, you know, and we're going to say, hey, jump ahead to minute 45, because that's when we're going to be done talking about it, and we're going to be moving on to the next thing. That way, if it's a new thing, I don't want to ruin it for you. TJ doesn't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah.
But also, we want to talk about movies in their entirety.
As somebody that's... you know, we're avid moviegoers and watchers. I can't stand when things get ruined for you when you don't expect them to get ruined for you.
Yeah, because it's like it's a blindside. They sucker punch you with it.
Was it
What movie?
Force Awakens, which we can talk about.
Force Awakens is in the window of like, fuck it.
I
If
think-
you
I
really
think
care
they're
about
even-
Star Wars, you've seen
I
it.
think they're also even showing that on like cable channels. So
Yeah.
it's like, dude, how have you not seen that one?
Yeah, like you had your chance.
By now. But technically, I remember.
If you're listening to this fucking
Yeah.
podcast in the first place, I've probably had a conversation
Yeah.
with you about it.
But technically
Like,
not. But I legitimately remember it was like that opening weekend. We all had tickets to go and everything. Literally, it was like a Sunday. I was gonna walk across the street and go like right after work kind of thing. And I'm ready. And I already read something that I was already like la la la, like fingers in my ears, pretending I didn't hear. And then literally there's these kids playing, joking around, and this one kid's like, I'm Han Solo, and then the other little shit is just like, why would you want to do that? He's dead! And I was like, I had like 20 minutes till the showing of this movie, like between me getting out and like going to see that movie, and I was furious, so we would never want to do anything like that.
That's not cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That being said, we will give you warnings, and if you don't adhere to them, it's going to be spoilers galore.
And don't worry about it, we are going to actually listen to this podcast, and it's not going to seem like it, but we might actually edit it. So if one of us accidentally does say something heinous, we're just going to bleep it out, or I'll just get real quiet for a second.
Is that the right word? Heinous?
Well, if you start saying
I think Coolsville sucks
again, I might have to.
I'm the one that
See, this is the perfect opportunity. I just bleeped that out, so you won't even know.
Right.
It's a mystery to the audience. Right. What was TJ saying? Was he saying something about...
I think Coolsville sucks.
Again?
Alright. You got me in a corner, man.
Alright, we're getting a little silly. So, let's go over this week's docket. What are we starting with this wonderful day?
That. Okay, well, we've established that the new release... There's two that we're in the process of deciding on.
Ooh, we're starting big. We're ending with a capstone.
Yeah.
All right. So what are we looking at this week, TJ?
Well, seeing as we missed our grand opportunities to do a huge popcorn blockbuster such as...
Well, there's still Deadpool out. We didn't see Deadpool yet.
We did see Deadpool.
Shit. Infinity War.
We totally saw that one.
Solo?
Oh yeah, we just saw that one.
Rampage?
We saw that because we saw all the other ones.
Okay.
No,
what are we watching?
Luckily, the new releases that were on our radar was we got Upgrade,
starring
new Tom Hardy flick.
Tom Hardy. What's the premise?
I
love Tom Hardy.
It's probably better off.
Oh well, it's a good thing I know off the top of my head.
You should just read.
Yeah.
The premise.
Well, set in the near future, technology controls nearly all aspects of life. But when Gray, a self-identified technophobe, has his world turned upside down, his only hope for revenge is an experimental computer chip implanted called STEM. So it's basically like RoboCop, but also not RoboCop because he has his body still.
All I can recommend, if you pull up, I don't think that the trailer gives away too much. It's actually one that's like not a terrible trailer. I'm gonna have to rewatch it, before I form that full opinion on it. But the trailer I saw grabbed me from the get go. It looks like a fun, just fucking movie, man, like action movie.
Tom Hardy is uncomfortable in a funny way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, he's like, because the premise is that the chip is able to, it knows karate and shit.
Yeah.
And it's able to take control of his body while he's defending himself from attackers.
It's essentially like a robot version of Venom?
Yeah. And it speaks in his head, and it has an intense bloodlust. I don't know about that part. I'm just making that up.
I don't know, but it looks cool. It's definitely one that's been on our radar. Definitely one to check out.
And we're
either going to watch Upgrade or Action Point, which is one that we've both been definitely down to... we're excited for.
Yeah, because we grew up with Jackass.
Pontius and Knoxville.
Doing what they do.
Even if people don't like it, it's going to be like, fuck it. The inner teenager in me is going to love it because it's cool seeing Pontius and Knoxville and anything.
Jackass stuff.
It's cool,
10 years later. Yeah. And... for those of you who don't know Action Point, this is the whole description. A daredevil designs and operates his own theme park with his friends. Which makes you think, might be a little light on the plot. But
I mean, you're not watching it necessarily for the plot. It's like, like Knoxville did with Bad Grandpa, where it's a movie that...
it's a vehicle for skits.
It's a movie that shouldn't necessarily work as well as... Bad Grandpa did. Like, Bad Grandpa was genuinely fun. It's not a cinematic masterpiece by any means, but it's hilarious. Yeah. If you're into that sort of thing. Which I am. 110%.
I am into that. Jackass made me who I am. I remember when I was a kid, they were, one of the farms behind my house, we're down to 3 farms now, was bulldozed to create some homes. And, it used to be like orange groves. And when they're clearing all this land, they had all this extra dirt because they were leveling it out. And they made like a 25-foot, maybe 30-foot, which is like ridiculously high, dirt mound in my backyard. And one side, it was like almost like a wedge, whereas like it was a real gradual incline until you got to the top from one side. And then it was like an almost sheer drop off. But for some reason, I would grab shit like cardboard boxes and go sledding down it and come home filthy. Because I would just be like, sometimes I would just eat shit and just like tumbleweed down this like big fucking hill filled with rocks and shit. My parents were cool with it.
Knoxville was like your Evel Knievel.
Exactly. I'm like, you could probably find some use of jumping off this thing and doing stupid shit.
Yeah, my whole thing was like, you know how they always had the warnings like, don't try this at home, and it's like, of course.
You do shit like
That's
jump on
why-
basketballs.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's why they do it, so we don't. My parents were like, I swear, just don't break anything. That was the idle threat. Remember one time,
You almost electrocuted yourself at school.
that wasn't because of jackass. That was just because of being a dumbass. You're just airing it all out, aren't you?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, that was a story for another time. Yeah.
That'll be our Patreon reward tier.
Yeah.
Patreon, don't listen to us.
Yeah, there we go. Let's start a Patreon. We'll have a reward tier where if you donate enough, I will tell you
Any story.
Any-
including the famous a light socket story.
Yeah,
Or the time he got his balls twisted.
that one didn't happen.
Yet. Not yet. Alright. We're moving on for the sake of your interest. So, I'm
Okay.
going to give you my recommendation.
Sure. So far, all right. Let's.
No, let's take this from the top. We're meandering.
New release is either going to be Upgrade or Action Point.
Yes. Alright, so my recommendation to TJ, movie that I very much enjoyed that really just kind of slipped under the radar, Moon. Starring Sam Rockwell. Came out 2009.
I remember a long time ago, like you recommended this movie to me. We were going to watch it.
We
one
watched
time,
like
'cause-
half
yeah,
of it
'cause-
once.
Yeah, we did watch. We watched less than half because like I think something happened. I might have fell asleep or something.
Yeah.
But either way, it's at a point where I don't even consider myself to have seen it, and I'm glad that you decided to make me revisit this movie after everything that happened with
It's a-
Kevin Spacey. I don't think he's even that big part of a movie, is he? A big part of a movie.
He's a voice.
He's a voice, so I
So
just
the-
gotta
the
listen
general-
to the
yeah.
voice of him.
So the general premise is that there's technicians who work on the moon on this like lunar facility
Okay.
where they're like mining for ore or something along those lines, and it's one person up there at a time.
There's
Just
Sam
says-
Rockwell, right?
And it's Sam Rockwell, and it's him up alone by himself, kind of almost like a Castaway situation where he's got to find ways to entertain himself over these long stretches of
I'm
time.
gonna just reiterate this right now. I love Sam Rockwell,
Who doesn't love Sam
and
Rockwell?
that's why I'm gonna. Agree.
Besides producers,
That's why I'm
directors,
gonna,
other actors.
That's why I'm gonna agree with this recommendation. I'm watching it for Sam Rockwell, not for our special voice cast.
Yeah.
Which is
Special
fine.
voice cast.
Like Kevin Spacey, right?
Oh, sorry.
You said
sorry.
he has a voice in it.
Yeah.
You're spoiling it for me.
Well, he's there from the beginning. It's okay.
Which is fine. We could get an argument too. I love certain Kevin Spacey movies. It's not my fault. He's a douche.
Shoji.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kaiser Soze. That sounds nothing like that.
No. All right. So, what's your recommendation? For
My
me, TJ?
recommendation for you, we've been talking about just cool horror movies to come out in the past like 10 years because especially the big ones. Oculus.
Oh,
You
written
haven't
and directed by Mike Flanagan. I hear.
Mike Flanagan, yeah.
What's he
some
done?
cool shit. I haven't seen it yet, but I know he did that with Before I Wake, which was
All right.
yeah. That's nothing special.
The
like,
6.5
necessarily.
out of 10 out of almost 100,000 reviews on IMDb
Oculus
is not
was
making
one-
me feel good, TJ.
No, look, Oculus is one. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, but it gets cool originality points, man. I'm telling you. After you watch it, it's got some cool vibes to it. It does some things that's really cool
All right.
for a modern day horror movie.
People
It's
better
not like
be
it
wearing
has-
eyeglasses.
It's not like it has a lot. Just watch it. That's all I
Alright.
can say. You want to? Should you run down the description of that one?
Yeah, sure, why not? A woman tries to exonerate her brother who is convicted of murder by proving that the crime was committed by a supernatural phenomenon. Because we all know ghosts hold up in court.
I guess we should also get off the table too that my recommendations, especially when it comes to horror, I have a soft spot for I don't know, it's weird. I have a very weird horror. I'm kind of picky with it, but I also love certain cheesy.
You'll give some shit a pass.
I will, as long as it
if you
has
were to-
fun. Like I'm a huge
Yeah.
trauma fan,
Yeah.
and you refuse to watch like a lot of trauma.
I do
movies.
refuse to watch a lot of trauma, but sometimes I get tricked into them,
like-
and
or
I
like-
end up enjoying them a lot.
Or like I like like the killer clowns,
Yeah.
from outer space and stuff. Like
you like
know.
camp.
So I do like camp. Not saying Oculus has camp, but what I'm saying is like I don't know. There's certain
Schlock.
things that get me that like. Might
All right,
not
well, you have
necessarily be
to
for
after
typical
the
people.
week
Just watch
is over.
Oculus.
You're gonna
yeah.
have to tell
There's
me.
no camp in that
what-
though. Oculus has some genuinely, as a viewer watching
Disturbing
it,
imagery?
scary moments.
Okay.
You'll see what I'm talking about. The movie almost fucks with the viewer.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we'll talk about it in a week.
Uh-huh.
We'll get back
Yeah.
to you.
So Oculus
And now-
Moon.
Yep, Oculus and Moon are the ones that we're recommending for each other.
Okay.
And now we're going to be giving ones where it's on my list for a while, or it's been on TJ's list for a long time, of just things we've been meaning to get around to that we haven't. that's like, fuck it, I might as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm obligated because I'm talking about it on this podcast that's going to be listened to by my mom, your mom, Christian, and maybe one of my coworkers. It's going to be a small list.
Yeah, and do you think Kevin Spacey will listen to this?
I hope Kevin Smith does.
Yeah.
He's going to sign us on.
That would be cool.
Well, we're not going to be Fat Man with the Batman. We'll be the
plot's
Fat
thick
Man.
ends.
The plot's thick ends. I knew you were going to work that in there.
I was. I couldn't think of a better time, but...
You know, he'll probably be down for it.
Yeah.
Kevin Smith.
He would.
He does have a podcasting network.
You're right. Let's just
Ooh.
shamelessly drop it until he
You know,
picks us up.
Chris Hardwick did reply to a tweet once in 2012.
Did he?
I think I can get into Nerdist.
Yeah. Stuff you shouldn't talk about on episode 1 of a movie podcast.
This is episode 0. We get a free pass. I think my brain just like stopped.
No, anyway,
halfway
so
through.
no. Back up, focus.
Can you tell
The
we've
movies.
never been on microphones before?
The movies. So we right now.
So what's on your list?
We got Upgrade Action Point. One or the other. We're gonna watch one of
Yes,
those.
we've established we're watching
Oculus.
Upgrade
Moon.
or
Followed by the one that you picked, which is a great pick because I've actually been wanting to really watch this. It's going to force us to both watch it. Train to Busan?
Yep.
Or is it Last Train to Busan?
It's Train to Busan.
Okay.
It's a zombie virus breaks out in South Korea, and passengers are fighting for their lives on this train from Seoul to Busan.
I've heard it injects like a cool, fresh thing with the zombie genre.
Yeah.
It's a Korean film, right?
Yes.
Yep. All right, that's cool. And I've read a lot of cool, neat things about it. I hope it lives up to its expectations.
I would hope so.
My pick was one that it's just a movie I've never somehow. It's one of those like, how have you not seen that yet? Like, I love Kubrick's work.
Yeah.
It is Kubrick. Do you want to guess which one it is? I think
Yeah,
you
I'll
already know.
guess.
I think we
Yeah.
already discussed it.
3, 2, 1. The
Eyes
Shining.
Wide Shut. No, like I've never seen The Shining.
Like
Yeah.
you've never seen Eyes Wide Shut.
Yep, it's one that I've seen like a decent amount of Kubrick's work, but never gotten around to watching Eyes Wide Shut. Have you?
No, I haven't. I know it's the creepy sex movie with Tom Cruise.
Yep, and that's about the extent of what I know.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be promising
Yeah.
and a fun one to talk about.
And you know what? I'll give us the rundown on this
Yeah,
one, just
yeah.
because most people don't know who Stanley Kubrick is. He's the guy who made The Shining and a bunch of other stuff. But like, if you've seen his other stuff, you've seen The Shining, and chances are, like, if you've seen The Shining, you're like, oh,
Shining,
that
Full Metal
guy.
Jacket's another
Full Metal
favorite
Jacket's.
of mine.
You know, that's actually a good point. But this one is about a New York City doctor who is married to an art curator who pushes himself on a harrowing and dangerous night-long odyssey of sexual and moral discovery after his wife admits that she almost cheated on him. So he proceeds to fuck a bunch of people with masks on.
Is that what it says?
Yeah.
That's what you say.
That's what IMDb says. You know who wrote that review?
You?
Ebert.
Oh. All right.
Yep. People who liked it also liked
Is this the...
Lolita. Just gonna leave that one there.
All right.
Put that on the table.
Yeah. Is this about Scientology?
It is.
Oh. That'll be even
I
more
don't.
interesting.
TJ, shut the fuck up about John
Oh,
Scientology.
yeah, true. We shouldn't
I'm
talk
trying
about
to make it big in this industry.
That's true.
Like, big.
You've already... I could tell because you're trying to, like, ramp up Tom Cruise.
Yeah, Tom Cruise. He's a fucking hit. He's so handsome and tall. Mainly tall. That's the big takeaway, is that he's at least 6'1" on his own.
Tom or Penelope?
Penelope's at least 6'2", but, you know, she has to, like, crouch when she's next to her brother Tom. That's fucking stupid. Alright, we need to, like, end this before we get, like, really dumb.
Alright, so final... like, we could read them all out loud. The final rundown.
I think they know what movies we're watching by now.
I hope so, but we have...
We have said it about 4 times.
Yeah, alright, good idea.
So you know what? Why don't you tell us down in the comments below what we're watching this week? Maybe give us your hopes, your reviews.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Always would love to hear.
We always love it down
you
in the
have to
Facebook
say.
comments and the Twitters.coms. And also, check us out on SoundCloud.
Yeah,
I'm probably not uploading this to SoundCloud. I don't know where I'm going with that.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Check us out on Stitcher, iTunes,
Yeah.
Spotify, Anchor.
Yeah, I've never heard of Anchor.
It exists.
Okay.
Google Play Store. That's one we can do.
Yeah, we can do all kinds. We'll see how it
Yeah,
goes.
that's not the important part. The fact is, though, that we've been recording for about 45 minutes, and you're going to hear about 20 of it. So that's your problem. What'd you miss? You
Yeah.
just
I think Coolsville sucks.
a bunch.
Ooh, hopefully... That's not fair. I didn't say it. I did so good. I didn't say it like... I did so good. That makes me sound bad. But, like, I did so good that I didn't say it at all. And you were the one that said it. Now it sounds like I'm the bad guy.
Yep, but I'm the one who has the laptop and who can edit this, so...
Oh, man.
The winners write the history books. Good night, everybody. See you next week. Gonna get back to you, hopefully the same day that I uploaded this, but from a week from now.
Maybe a week from now we could figure out our target audience.
Just end it. That's so fucking stupid.